Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm going to kill you. I'm a Jew. I'm going to take your life if you don't let me out of here. You talk again, I'll have my court officer put a piece of duct tape in your mouth. What do you want? What's your pledge? What do you want from me? You're going to shut your mouth, or I'm going to have some duct tape for you. If you don't let me out of here, I'm going to kill you. You wanted to take my kids from me and act like that? You want to be in a room or not? Do you want to sign? I prefer not to. Well, you got court determines. I want to make the dude on me out of here. This is 41-year-old Juan Rodriguez, who was accused of attacking a woman with a knife in Miami, Florida. A week earlier, Rodriguez allegedly stabbed nurse Nehan Morris at a mental health facility he was residing in after accusing her of theft. Now facing an attempted murder charge, Rodriguez appeared before Judge Betatribucho, where things went off to an explosive start. You can't believe he's simming when I talk to her. You got to go. I'm doing out of turn. Sorry about that. Didn't give you a heads up. 1 second. He cannot be there when I talk to you. This guy cannot be there when I talk to you. Oh, it was him. I thought it was the public defender. No, I don't need him. As Judge Buchko ignored his request, Rodriguez became irate. Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm going to you. I'm a Jew. I'm going to take your life. If you let me out of here, okay, I'm done. Now, let's eat breakfast cooking. After dropping a bombshell, the defendant attempted to walk away. When brought back, Rodriguez once again demanded to be released from prison and continued threatening the judge. What do you want? Appropriately, what's your pleasure? What do you want from me? Where is Sabrina? Where is she? Finding... What's the phone number? If you don't let me out of here, I'm going to kill you. Cool as a cucumber. Judge Buchko seemed uninterested and eventually denied him bond, setting no bond. Okay, thank you. Corrections. Probable cause. No bond. Point the public defender. While Rodriguez spent a night in jail after threatening a judge, what happens when a defendant's threats earn them a felony charge? I see you like in the case of 27-year-old Cobus Roman. He's facing armed robbery charges in Bakersfield, California. Charges, Mr. Roman, are attempted robbery, threatening with the intent to terrorize exhibiting a deadly weapon other than a firearm. 3 days earlier, Roman was arrested after he allegedly tried to rob an employee at Valley Plaza Mall and threatened to kill her with a knife. Today, Roman was facing Judge Charles Arbremer. And right off the bat, things went off to a rough start. Roman, stand up. I can't stand up right now. Music, stand up. What? After the defendant was on his feet, the judge started proceedings. Mr. Roman, what is your true correct name? Tobias. My first name. That's it. Giggles or Tobias. That's it. Don't call me. At this time, I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Roman. The charges, Mr. Roman, are attempted robbery. Mr. Roman, you need to be quiet. Yeah, you need to be quiet. Judge Brema gave Roman a final warning, but the defiant defendant refused to budge. You've got one more chance, and then you're going to be removed from the courtroom. That'll be your choice. Don't talk. Go live airy. All right. You need to leave. Then, while he was being removed from the courtroom, Roman had one final comment for the judge. I noted for the record, Mr. Roman's statement on the record, that he will me if he sees me, and I'm going to request law enforcement take the appropriate action. Tobias Roman was later charged with threatening a public official and sentenced to 8 months in prison, while a defendant threatened to murder the judge. How does it compare to bringing a weapon to court? Put the axe down. On April 8, 2024, a man walked into the Cibola County Courthouse wielding an axe. He was later identified as 65-year-old John Carl O'Brien. Upon arriving in court, O'Brien had allegedly threatened to kill District Court Judge Amanda Sanchez Villalobos. Thankfully, police arrived before the suspect could do any damage. Put the axe down. Step away from it. Step away from it. Your hands down on your knees. Do not move. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? If you move, it will not be good for you. Okay. O'Brien's actions and sent the whole court into lockdown. Yeah, all these doors are locked. Okay, so just let me know. Keep me updated. There's an individual that I told you, so we're in for right now. But keep it locked down. Ultimately, Carl O'Brien was charged with first-degree attempted murder and threatening a judge. He currently awaits trial, while an axe-wielding suspect was apprehended just in time. How does it compare to threatening to find out the judge's whereabouts? I am going to keep talking because I do want to have to see you back here for this. Where you live at. You're saying you're going to find out where I might live at. In the case of Bryce Rhodes, who is facing multiple murder charges in Louisville, Kentucky, your job is not to worry about me. Your job is to do your job. And his job is to worry about your job is to do your job, not to worry about me. That's what I'm saying. Well, I worry about me. In May 2016, Rhodes and two of his accomplices, 15-year-old Antoine Carter and 17-year-old Ja'Cory Taylor, allegedly stabbed and tortured two teenage brothers to death. The bodies of 14-year-old Larry Ordway and 16-year-old Maurice Gordon were found in an abandoned lot. It looks like they're deceased and they've been burned. Those are kids? Those are kids, and it hasn't been that long, 'cause there's some shoe prints right here, too. There's some good shoe prints, too. Rhodes was arrested and interrogated, where he initially denied any wrongdoing. Whether they run away? If we knew that, man, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish I could help. You know what it was. You know, I don't. But one of his accomplices, Antoine Carter, confessed to the police. He made my reach on his knees. I might be forgetting this. Carter said Rhodes tied up the two brothers, gagged them, and then stabbed them. Eddie Mop tied him up with something. Music, he tied his brother up. He made my reach on his knees, like beg for forgiveness. He put to his head, and he put a rag in his mouth, and he stabbed me, from my recent side, to bring his brother. He put the tobacco over his head. He put his head and put the sock in his mouth. Like that? He then described how Rhodes disposed of the bodies. What happens next? He puts them in the crates. Music put them in crates, like the little things that you put clothes in. Carter also claimed he and Taylor were forced to be involved in the killings. You going to stab him? He made y'all stab him. So you and Corey stabbed him, too. How many times do you think you stabbed him? I stabbed him one time, me and Corey, to clean it up. He also said that the deceased brothers had witnessed Rhodes, also known as Rambo, kill a man named Christopher Jones earlier that month. They've seen somebody just fallen in the street, like the street just shot him and robbed. He was a getaway. He was driving. During his trial, RHS claimed the prosecutors were framing him. The prosecution is known for falsifying and altering documents about evidence. On May 24, 2016, an informant suspect, Antoine Carter, was detained in question. So he told detectives that allegedly a double homicide took place at my home, 763 North Height Avenue, Apartment 2, Bull, K. So detectives called for a search warrant and searched my home. They searched for hours. They applied Blue Star chemical solution all throughout the house. They looked and looked, and they found no such evidence of any type of crime. In fact, officers stated how clean the apartment was. They also stated that the carpet had clean solution on it. And yet nothing was still found when they applied Blue Star chemical reaction. He even suggested that police planted evidence in his home. So, they clear the scene and they leave for 1 hour and 20 minutes. They leave for 1 hour and 20 minutes. They come back and they research the home at 2,356 until 02:14 hours. Now all of a sudden they claim to find blood on the carpet. So the same carpet they just searched the first time that was clean, and now it allegedly has blood on it. See, to sum everything up, detectives were told numerous lies and fabrications by the informant, and they were led on a wild goose chase by someone who made up a story who just thought just so they can get out of jail. If that wasn't enough, RHS's lawyer suddenly quit because of an alleged spitting incident between the two. Nice, cheap shot. You a coward, nice, cheap. Due to that incident and the history of misdemeanors in prison, Rhodes was strapped to a chair and wore a spit mask in his next court appearance. Mr. Rhodes, you can just bring him up right here. Why you had me come out like this? For I think you know why. What? You know exactly why. Now listen. Stop talking. You have been God. Are you done? No, I'm done. You've been charred in the 4th degree. I'm going to keep talking because I do unwant to have to see you back here for this. But that did not stop his misconduct. After a profanatiful rant, Rhodes tried to intimidate Judge Amber Wolf by threatening to find out where she lived. Where you live at? What you think at? I do. So, you're saying you're going to find out where I'm out? None of that. You got something? I'll be out. The threats got Rhodes hit with additional charges of terrorist threatening and intimidating the participant in the legal process. That was a threat against the court. I think that I'm asking the county attorney's office to take that into account. But that's not all. In his next court appearance, Rhodes accused another judge of having an intimate relationship with the prosecutor. I do know if y'all got some type of relationship going on or what y'all got going on, but I'm definitely going to speak my mind. Now, I'm talking about you and the prosecute over here, sir. He even called the judge a racist, much to the shock of his own attorney. Are you some type of racist? Are you got some type of relationship going on? Which one is it? Are you a secret Klan member? No, sir. Is that what you really are? No. Okay. Rhodes did not make many friends in court, but then another part of it is, if we have a concern, the person stop. It was a violent split-second decision. I flipped out. I couldn't take it no more. Marie Wren lunged toward the man accused of stabbing her sons to death and burning their body. Me up. Underscore. Me up. Underscore. Me up. Let me get you. He'll be sick. AI. A nobody going to sit in court and hold her composure and have a demon turn around and laugh about them killing your kids. It's just not going to work for anybody, and was ultimately convicted of all charges and sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murders of Larry Ordway, Maurice Gordon, and Christopher Jones. While Bryce Rhodes's clash with his judges will forever be legendary. What happens when the judge throws a defendant out of court? Underscore you, like in the case of Alan McCarty, who was charged with making death threats to a judge in Daytona Beach, Florida. You want to take my kids from me and act like that? Underscore you in there. Music on September 29, 2017, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office received a disturbing phone call. Communications were rehearsed. Yeah, I want to report a crime that's about to happen. What do you mean a crime that's about to happen? Yeah, there is about to be a crime that is going to happen if my kids do UNT. Come back to me, you stupid. 'Cause you're stupid. Judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I got a gun pointed at your building. Sir, what is going on? Who the are you calling, sir? You stupid. Where's your judge warning at? You going to bring that out in handcuffs and I am going to execute that right in the street? Where are you at, sir? Mother, I just told you I am outside of her building waiting for her to get there in the morning. I'm Papa Cap in that, you stupid. The man was later identified as 35-year-old Alan McCarty Jr., falsely accused the circuit judge, Stasha Warren, of taking his children away in a previous child custody case. Months later, McCarty appeared in court to answer for his crimes. McCarty spent every moment in court with profanatiful rants at his pre-trial hearing. So, Judge Matt Foxman gave him a warning. I'm going to tell you to be quiet, and you need to be quiet. There's not going to be a second time. If there's a second time, I'm going to duct tape. But that seemed to trigger him even more. I'm going to tell you, you just threatened my life to duct tape me. Did everybody just hear that? You just threatened to duct tape me in the courtroom. A judge just threatened. You just said on record, You're going to duct tape me. McCarty continued to disrupt the proceedings. No, I refuse. No, no, I refuse. I refuse. He threatened it up at me. When his trial began, McCarty was back to his belligerent best. No, I'm not. I'm not under oath. All right, raise your right hand. Want to swear again? You saw me swear. I'm not under oath. Raise your right hand, please. That's your bad fur. I didn't appreciate that. I am not under oath. This is being done unconstitutionally. Y'all took my kids unrightfully. You won't allow my witnesses here. You won't allow my paperwork. Y'all took all my core paperwork. And when they all come in here, I'm going to say the same thing. Quit wasting my time and bring them in. Holly, make sure you take down what I say. He was sworn in on no. I was not sworn in. I've never been sworn in this court. Bring the camera back. He's making this up. Represent. He is making this up. I was never sworn in. I have not been sworn in at all. You're a liar. Judge Foxman calmly asked McCarty if he wanted to be present in the courtroom. Number 1, I need to know whether or not you want to be here during the trial process. No. All right. Do you want to testify, though? No, I don't. This is all being done unconstitutionally, unrightfully. Y'all are underscore, you ain't allowing my evidence. You ain't allowing my people. We haven't started the trial yet. Doesn't matter. You stilling tonight? The Falmouth defendant continued to insult the judge and his staff. My dad owns the building, and I look like an idiot. Huh? Brought your dress today, you little prick. You want to take my kids from me and act like that? You win that. You get loud with me. Is that what you're going to do? No. Well, then do it again. Come on, shut the up. I'm trying to think over here. Unsurprisingly, McCarty was removed from court and sat in a separate room. Other room. Mother, take all my paperwork. So I can't show these people? You want to take all my paperwork from me? Locked me in a cell naked all night. However, that room was not soundproofed. Mr. McCarty's chosen to voluntarily absent himself as opposed to sorry. I've chosen that room as opposed to duct tap. He can watch and hear what we're doing. Eventually, McCarty was found guilty of threatening a sitting judge. McCarty returned for sentencing the following month, showing no remorse. Where also. Here on an order to show cause, which I would like to address first. First of all, you're before the court. Mr. McCarty ought to show cause why. I should not hold me in contempt for behavior that you are demonstrated during the jury trial. Number 1, you threaten the unborn child of the prosecutor directly in an open what a bunch of guys. You stupid piece of dental. You threaten my life. You in the you back room. Suck. Needless to say, McCarty was once again sent to the back room. No, I'm not standing, not resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm just not standing up. I'm not standing. I don't have to stand. You'll fall on that baby's head. You stupid threaten that, you stupid mother. Yeah, keep looking at me. Boy, where he continued his profanity-filled rants from behind a mirror. And additionally, 'cause I know you can hear me in the back. Get out. Get out of here. Get up. I'll get up. Mother, you want to kill me? Ultimately, Alan McCarty was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his threats to kill a judge. These are a bunch of... No, you're not taking my fingerprints. I'm not going to let you. That's right. Don't touch me. And don't touch my kids. Get my law paper. While Alan McCarty's explosive courtroom actions certainly didn't earn him any brownie points. What happens when a defendant gives the judge a piece of his mind? Yeah, you're a tough guy. He's a maggot punk. You should have died when he was a baby. Any time, Mr. G. Shut up, punk. Like in the case of Michael Gain, who was in a Kansas courtroom facing charges of assaulting a police officer. All the evidence shows that you deliberately, Okay? Excuse me. Yeah, I know the words were that you deliberately were hawking up. Lord, I didn't hawk up no saliva. Okay. According to reports, Gaines, who was HIV positive, allegedly spat on an officer during a prison fight while incarcerated at the Sedgwick County Jail. Gaines was convicted on 2 counts of battery of a law enforcement officer. At his sentencing, Gillespie faced District Judge Rebecca Pilshaw, and things went off to a rocky start. You do respect authority. You're not respecting my authority. You're not respecting me? Me. Okay. Respect goes both ways. You're just a woman with a robe on. You, a woman, human being, just like I am. Okay. You really think it's appropriate to cuss here in court? Do you think it's appropriate to censor me under this racial program you got going here? You call justice? Justice? Yagoe. Justice. Gaines claims that he was being framed. You're going to believe those lies? That's what I'm talking about. I didn't hawk up no saliva. You going to believe a lie? 'Cause they were in uniform. Judge Pilshaw tried to take control, but Gaines was just getting started. Wearing a uniform, right? Rogue deputy. Like eager you ain't gotta scream in me. You're you? Going to raise your voice to me? Oh my God. You raised your voice to me. I raised my voice to you. You, just in the road. However, Gaines kept the worst for Prosecutor Kevin O'Connor, who bore the brunt of his outburst. I appreciate Mr. Gaines making my point for you, punk. Very well received, maggot mother. And I do think I have to take insults from I know you he. Is a tough guy now, but I think you and you'll be. Affair I gets in. You think Mr. Gaines has forfeited me and he's put his. I'm ready to go. I was ready to go, you punk. Finally, the judge had had enough and asked deputies to remove Gaines. However, the defendant still had some choice words left. I'm talking out of the courtroom. He's a maggot. Yeah, you're a tough guy. He's a maggot. Huh. He should have died when he was a baby. Maggot. Anytime. Mr. G, shut up, huh? He's a maggot. Should have died when he was a baby. Stillborn. Ultimately, Michael Gaines was sentenced to 13 years in prison for his troubles. While Michael Gaines didn't pull any punches in the courtroom, what happens when a defendant threatens to beat up a judge? Sir, I'm holding you in contempt for what you did. I don't give a hold of you. Keep bringing him in. I'm holding you in contempt. Next, we head to the bond court in Louisville, Kentucky. 36-year-old Michael Ray was appearing on charges of terroristic threatening and second-degree assault. Prosecutors requested a $25,000 bail based on the crime and Ray's criminal history. Kuntis requesting $25,000 full cash behind all charges. Looks like Ali. You think that's funny? I think that's hilarious. Only got worse. Sir, I'm holding you in contempt for what you did. I don't give a what's holding me in. And so, you're just making it worse. Man, you all right? You can take him back. 100 days to serve. 100 days. Okay. Yeah. For what? Because of 2 EPOs in a criminal mission case. He's done. And if you thought a 100-day jail sentence would stop you're mistaken. I think we need to stop. Can we bring him back? What started with a couple of charges and a $25,000 bond ended up being 10 serious charges and a bail amount of $75,000. He really is. It took a lot of game over. While Michael Ray ended up biting off more than he could chew, how does it compare to having a full-blown courtroom meltdown? Next, we head to the Common Pleas Court in Paynesville, Ohio, for the sentencing of 32-year-old Manson Bryant. This is case number 18, State of Ohio versus Manson M. Bryant. 8 months earlier, Bryant and a co-defendant broke into a man's home and robbed him of cash and valuables at gunpoint. Bryantith, co-defendant, pleaded guilty while Bryant went to trial and was eventually convicted of robbery, abduction, and weapons charges. Now, at his sentencing, Bryant appeared before Judge Eugene Lucci, who was a familiar face. The last time before this time that I had him, I put him in prison for 4 years for a robbery. He acted out briefly on his way out of the courtroom, and I just let it go. Bryant was given an opportunity to speak on his behalf. He begged Judge Lucci for a second chance for you too. Give me opportunity to still make something out of my life. Sir, I don't want to die for you, sir. I'm not a bad person, sir. You have a good I've been multiple times. I respect you. Special decision. Finally, it was time for the defendant to learn his fate. Court sentences you on count 3 aggravated robbery for a total of 22 years. Now, if you thought Bryant was truly remorseful for his crimes, you were mistaken. First, Bryant seemed to be confused after Judge Lucci handed out a hefty prison sentence. Then out of nowhere, Bryant exploded. Court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution. Courtroom. You underscore your courtroom. Man, racist as you, as 22 years. You told me about remember when I said that you had son gave me, when I said that you had a certain amount of remorse. I was mistaken, and shuck my court determines. The court determines that maximum imprisonment is needed. So, it's 11 years on count 1 years on count 3. Get out of here. Hey, take him out, please. I love you. Bro, that's 28 years, with credit for 231 days. I don't want to hear it, man. Let me out. Let's go. Let me out. I don't want to hear me out. Let him go. Let me out. Let's take him out. Let me out. Does counsel waive the client's presence for the remainder of the advice I have to give? Yes, Your Honor. All right. You can take them. Hey, thank you. Love you. Thank you, sir. Bryant was initially given a lesser sentence, but his epic outburst made Judge Lucci reconsider. I was giving him remorse, a certain amount of remorse, in mitigation of the sentence. The defendant has shown me that he has no remorse whatsoever, and therefore the court determines that maximum imprisonment is needed. Judge Lucci later explained the reason behind his decision. Well, it was clear that the remorse that he was trying to portray was phony, and that he was unremorseful at all, and that if given the chance, if I let him loose on society, he's going to prey on other people. Ultimately, Manson Bryant was sentenced to a total of 28 years in state prison for his crimes, while a defendant shouted his way toward the maximum punishment. What happens when you threaten to sue the judge? You're not letting me talk. You're just dismissing me. Get in there. Get in. I will. And I will sue you. Like in the case of Brandon Alexander, who was at a Michigan civil court after being sued by a hospital over unpaid medical bills. 2 months earlier, Judge David Goggins issued a default order in favor of the hospital when a defendant failed to appear for a hearing. So, with the default judgment, sounds like you missed your date. Yes. I showed up a day late and realized that I made a terrible mistake. I wrote down on 3 separate calendars that I had it on Wednesday. Y primera messed up. Now, Alexander appeared virtually after filing a motion to invalidate the default order. 2 of you talked at all. Would it help if I give you minutes to talk? No. We're not going to come to an agreement. Your Honor, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never had the unique curse words that were used against me prior to this case being called. So, I defer to you. Okay. Judge Goggins initially suggested Alexander and the plaintiff's attorney, Hal Burke, amicably reach an agreement. If I give you a chance to talk, Mr. Alexander, if you keep a calm attitude, I don't mind the 2 of you talking, but we can get something resolved. If not, I'll just make a decision on the default. To be honest, there is no talking with this gentleman. It's how are you going to pay? And then when I got his office calling me, the ladies, why won't you pay? Why won't you pay your bills? Why won't you pay your bills? Why aren't you on your honor? We do nothing like that. I'd ask that you rule on the motion. For both your sakes, I guess I'll just make a decision. Give me just a minute. I'm going to view the pleadings. However, after seeing the situation going nowhere, the judge decided to take matters into his own hands. You have to show me, Mr. Alexander, that there's been some type of good cause to not enter the default judgment that was given. All you've stated in your response is that you are unable to make it to court. I have to follow the court rules for everybody. Has to also state a meritorious defense. In your claim, there's been no meritorious defense stated. Ultimately, Judge Goggins found no meritorious defense in Alexander's motion and upheld the default order. Therefore, based upon the ER lack of good cards, the default still stands. Okay. Good luck to both of you. Burke left the call, but Alexander was not done yet. Your Honor, I'm sorry, Mr. Alexander. What? I said, that's really not cool. Well, I rules for everybody, sir. What paperwork? What paperwork? Can you just come out and say, I'm not asking, but I'm asking. What evidence shows that I even owe that money? I can't talk to you about the case. Okay, I've made my ruling. Okay, good. Good luck. Well, then I appeal it. Can you tell me if I have an appeal? I can appeal. Get an attorney. Yep, you can appeal. So, why is my word taken? I'm not going to argue with you. I've told you I'm not. I'm asking a question. I get no choice. No voice because I'm not a lawyer and I don't have a law degree. I get no voice. You did. That's the freedom we have as a citizen. You're going to treat me as a lesser citizen. You're going to treat me as a lesser citizen because I don't have a law degree. My voice don't matter. You're not letting me talk. You're just dismissing me. Get an attorney. Get an I will, and I will sue you for what you're doing. Unfair. 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 Mr. Goggins, and you should be ashamed of yourself. I will, because you're saying I have less a voice, because I don't have a degree. We're all done. You're done. I'm not done. I'm not done with after the epic rant. Alexander abruptly left the call and the hearing ended with the default orders still in place. I'm not done. I'm not done with. While Brandon Alexander ultimately did not sue the judge, what happens when a defendant lashes out at the judge? Like in the case of 43-year-old Alto, Miles was facing 4 counts of aggravated murder in Cincinnati, Ohio. Clearly a homicidal, dangerous individual. On April 10, 2020, Miles fatally shot his ex-35-year-old Tasha Mason and 56-year-old Reet Carter in what police believed was an act out of jealousy. That woman and the other female victim were together at their residence, provoking him with jealousy by talking about photographs of other men on Facebook, and that he had finally gotten fed up. Thought they had gone too far, and he shot and killed the 2 of them. That same day, Miles shot and murdered 28-year-old William Bowen III and 47-year-old Michael Ease outside an apartment complex. According to reports, Bowen had allegedly beaten up Miles a few days earlier, while Eaves's death was an attempted cover-up. Police say Miles shot and killed Mason and Carter at an apartment in North End. Miles initially faced the death penalty, but a judge later ruled that out, citing his mental health issues. Eventually, Miles decided to take a plea deal. Given his unpredictable behavior, Miles appeared for the hearing, strapped to a wheelchair with a split mask on his face. As his attorney read the details of the plea, Miles suddenly snapped. Court provision to recover a former plea of not guilty and enter guilty to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, along with ILL. Give you the gun specifications for each one of those counts for your gun specification. And is this a police officer from the state of Ohio? Yes, Your Honor. Judge Christopher A. Wagner then directly addressed Miles, but his rants continued. Mr. Miles, is that your understanding? Is that the forecast that you're going to plead to keep? Mr. Miles, we set this hearing. Mr. Miles, I have a documentation in front of me entry. Man gave your desire to plead guilty to throw counsel aggravated murder. Is that true? Music. Then things got really crazy. Walk. Judge Wagner gave Miles one last chance, but in return, all he got was a disturbing reaction. Your last chance, Mr. Miles. You wish to plead guilty to these 4 counts of aggravated murder. God, Mother God, Come on, man. Stop playing, man. Your mother intended to plead guilty. 4 counts of aggravated murder. Yes. No. Even his attorney tried to speak some sense into him, but Miles refused to stop. God, million mothers are playing. All right. 25. All right. The record, Mr. Miles cannot knowingly, involuntarily, plead guilty to the eventually. Judge Wagner dismissed the plea and sent Miles back to jail. Another judge later ordered a second mental evaluation of Miles. His case is still ongoing. While Alto Miles exploded at a judge, what happens when the defendant faces a judge's wrath? Well, I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison, like in the case of 30-year-old Camilla Gamut, who was facing charges of open murder in Jackson, Mississippi. This is one of the worst cold-blooded murders I've seen in a long time. In May 2013, Gamut brutally stabbed and murdered her boyfriend, 48-year-old Marcel Hill, at their home in Lansing Avenue. First-degree murder for stabbing her boyfriend, Marcel Hill, in the spring of 2012. Gamut claims it was Hill was reportedly stabbed 12 times and had his skull caved in with an iron pan. During the trial, the jury was presented with an overwhelming amount of evidence against Gamut and eventually convicted her of first-degree murder. At her sentencing, Gamut was given a chance to apologize by Judge John McBain, but instead she chose to plead her defense. Is there anything that you want to tell the court before I close? Is there anything you want to tell the victim's family or are here today? I just want to say that I stick by the truth, which is that I did react in self-defense. I did love Marcel. Basically, at trial, the way I was portrayed, mostly everything was lies. There was a little bit of truth, but mostly I was convicted off the lies. However, Judge McBain was not buying it. Anything you want to tell the court about the 12 stab wounds that you did in self-defense? The alleged 12 stab wounds, well, I don't think the pathologist lied about those. No, I don't have anything further to say. Gamut also showed no remorse when the victim's aunt, Diana Banks Joyner, took the stand. So we, the family of Marcel, would like to thank God for the special gift that you will receive today from the judge. Is that it? When I shouldn't tell? But you know? Oh, okay. You serious? But the judge was having none of it. Just talk again. I'll have a court officer put a piece of duct tape in your mouth. You understand it. Try it one more time and see what happens to your mouth. You got something else to say. Judge McBain warned Gamut of having her mouth shut with duct tape, but the defiant defendant continued to argue. I'm done! Miss, get the duct tape. Now sit here and listen to her lies. You know what? She's got a right to talk to the court after you murder a relative of hers. And you gone nah, shut your mouth, or I am gone nah, add some duct tape for now. Well, we'll wait here for a moment so we can get her quiet. Then it was the prosecutor who ripped into a gap. We have no choice but to send her where she will also die. I can't believe she stands before you doing this morning. Finally, before imposing the sentence, it was the judge who had the last words. This is one of the worst cold-blooded murders I've seen in a long time. You end up ultimately hit him in the head so hard with a pan that you actually cave in the front of his skull, and then you stabbed him no less than 12 times. Tell you, you gutted him like a fish in that apartment. 2. You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, until he was dead. I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting a chair. With that explosive ending, Camilla Gamut was ultimately sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. While a judge condemned the defendant to die, how does it compare to having a complete meltdown in court? Please kill. Next, we head to the Bond Court in Miami, Florida. Today, Judge Mindy Glazer was overseeing proceedings. Next up on the docket was Sherry Lynn, facing charges of battery and resisting arrest after violently assaulting a woman named Cynthia Cuba with a pair of pliers. Lynn appeared remotely and was represented by the public defender. But have you ever been treated for any mental health issues? Why don't you go underscore yourself first? From the very first interaction, it was evident that the defendant was in no mood to answer questions. "I'm sorry, ma'am," I said. "Go_yourself." Judge Glazer initially found it amusing, but eventually issued a warning that, "Ma'am, I'm just trying to help you." "Ma'am, he's trying to help you. And please do UNT's profanity or try and disrupt my courtroom, 'cause I don't want to be forced to pull you in contempt of court." Or he's trying to, Mr. SN, is trying to help you. Then the judge ordered Lynn to stay away from the woman who pressed charges against her. "And I'm ordering that you stay away from Cynthia Cooper. Do not have any contact with her, and you must stay away from her home or place of business." This is when the defendant exploded. "As to the other case, who is this Cynthia Cooper? Tell me." I try to hit with the pliers. In an epic outburst, Lynn threw a profanity-filled rant at Judge Glazer.